Hey, how's it going today? It's Frankie and I'm here Random Movie Mondays. And this movie is called The Grey Man. And this movie is just brilliant from start to finish. I didn't expect the movie to be good, and considering who plays the main character called Six, I think a lot of you know why I thought I was a bit skeptical in this movie, why I thought this movie wouldn't be that good. So basically, Ryan Gosling, yes, a lot of you women out there love him. I know he's very popular amongst the female community, and I thought it was just mostly associated with romance movies or rom-coms. I had no idea he was in action movies. And yeah, practically every character played different roles in movies. I've seen it, I know it, and it doesn't quite work. Here, the character he plays, he did a perfect job at it. Brilliant. Different. I mean, he can be a bit corny with his lines in some scenes, but it was he just played it perfectly to perfection. Now, perfectly to perfection. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get straight into it. It's over 2 hours long, but I'm gonna summarize it as best as I can. Already, I'm finding it difficult to explain what I'm going to say. And yeah, so it's about Ryan Gosling's character called Six, and he's been assigned by someone called Carmichael to do a job for him, and he was, he was in prison, and he, gets told he can come out of it if he does this sort of job. And yeah, he goes to this nightclub where he has to assassinate a target called Dining Car. Don't really know what sort of name that is for an asset or target, whatever you want to call it, right? Don't know what sort of name that is for an enemy. And he just realizes something's going on and something is wrong, and he can't exactly execute the target perfectly. And someone called Danny, also who works with Six and Carmichael, creates a diversion where everyone has to run out, and then you see Six just goes and attacks everybody, boom, 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 and wow, and then he goes and gets Dining Car. I think he interrogates to this scene, and he tells him that Carmichael is kind of tricking the whole system and is setting Six up to actually get killed in all this. And Six doesn't want to believe at first, but then he speaks to someone called Fitzroy, who at the start of the movie was the one that told him to do this kind of job. And it did jump from there to 18 years later. That's a huge jump, I've got to say. And then he eventually also comes across someone called Lloyd, who is the head of some sort of operation that is working with Carmichael to execute Six, or whatever it is. And Six also has some sort of some sort of pendant that contains it's kind of like a hardware, and it's got a data on it, like a hard drive, my bad, and it's sort of got data on it. So I don't know what it has on it. Wasn't quite clear on that one. And then the fighting scenes he comes across, when he speaks to someone called Fitzroy, he gets onto his plane that belongs to Fitzroy's men, but I think they belong to Lloyd's men, because Fitzroy's niece gets kidnapped by Lloyd's men, and Fitzgerald sort of orders one of the soldiers to take him out. And Six kind of knows he has a fight in the plane. The plane just gets destroyed, explodes, and he sort of has talks with Lloyd Devil. Just basically that sort of talk where they try and it's almost like they're having a standoff over the phone. And then he also goes, I think, basically different countries that he travels to, really. I think it was it in Prague or somewhere like that, where he goes and gets a passport, or whatever he's doing to get, I don't know what he's getting. He's getting some sort of thing that give him a different alias. And I kind of knew this dude was dodgy, when the way he behaves, the way he talks, the way he acts. And Six sort of writes down what do you call it? The serial number for the pacemaker that Claire has, which is Fitzroy's niece, because she has a pacemaker. He makes a note of that so he can I think basically track or whatever he's doing. And he gets put in the trap door that the guy sets him up for. And then he sort of has a fight scene with the officers. Oh, this is a brilliant scene. Then there's also another scene of him at someone called Margaret's place, where I thought, is she not a politician? She's part of the CIA. I have no idea. CIA is crazy in these type of movies, man. And then that fight scene there where it just explodes, I think that scene happened maybe, I think, after. I think it was. I'm not really sure the order that one, but that was a cool little scene there with just explodes, and he has an altercation with the police, and the police sort of handcuffs him, some sort of like raid on like a back, whatever you want to call it. What way? But I have no idea where they handcuffed him to. And then this scene, because Lloyd's men is, Lloyd is always meant to take out the police because he wants Six to, basically to interrogate him because he has something that Lloyd wants. And this scene here is the best scene in this movie by a mile. The action, especially on the tram, brilliant. Fantastic cinematography, scenery, just everything. Probably one of the best action scenes that I've seen in any movie. This is just fantastic. I'm not even going to mention what goes on here. You can watch it for yourself because this is just amazing. And then Danny also gets involved to help. And there's a scene at the hospital, which I assume is everybody that's injured from like I think I'm going to call it the tram, but it looks like a train. But it's on the road, so I assume it's a tram. It's a type of tram anyway. I don't know where this. I think this is in Berlin. Or is it in Berlin or Prague? I'm not quite sure where it is. There's different places they're showing here. And yeah, he goes into hospital to get himself patched up, and someone called Avik comes in, like one of, I think Lloyd's, what do you call them, assassins or agents? Maybe an agent. And Avik comes in, and I don't know how. I mean, they do train just to fight when you're outnumbered. That's what these agents or assassins, wherever you call them, are trained for. They be called different names. Usually in movies like this, they could be assassins, they could be assets, they could be agents, they could be anybody in this type of movie. And he sort of fights. I think Danny and Six of he sort of fights both of them, and he sort of stabs Six somewhere. Don't know how he didn't bleed out, by that mind. And Danny also is helping Six out because Carmichael got rid of her. And yeah, Carmichael says something. You see parts of him in scenes, yeah, but we could see more of him. And the part where they have to chase after Avik, and they come across like I think the mansion, wherever like Lloyd and his men are living in, and there's sort of a big scene here where they destroys the place. I think Danny used like a bazooka or launcher to destroy the place, parts of it, and then that's where you see Six rescue Fitzroy and Claire. But, there's a lot in this movie, I'm telling you. And Fitzroy eventually gets like shot. I think it's shot or something like that. And he just says, "Oh, you got to take Claire with you," and he holds a grenade in his hand, and that's where Lloyd just sort of gets caught up in the explosion as well, because he's in that moment where he's with the men as well. They thought he was dead. So and this another scene here where he sort of gets shot, because Six tells Claire just to stay in like a boat. But then she eventually gets a bit stubborn because she sees that he's suffering with that, because he shoots a few officers, and Lloyd just then comes in and she shoots a flare gun at him and uses some of his fingers. That was a cool scene out there. I kind of like that. But she should have shot again. Was there not no flare in that gun? This is the one thing I get kind of annoyed about in these movies, these type of scenes where you see someone, it could be of any age, where somebody wants to save like a loved one or somebody that they know, and the enemy comes towards them. They've shot that this person once. It could be he or she, and then I come and shoot again. But then it's like, surely it's just so convenient they have either one bullet or one flare inside that gun, so they don't shoot it. So the movies are probably to have like another intense scene, and this maze scene here is quite clever. Where you would think that Danny, because Danny has sights on Lloyd, which is a bit. I thought she was going to shoot at him. But I think Six went to have a bit of a scrap with him, and Claire just runs off. There's a bit of a fight scene here, and Lloyd just stabs him a few times, and you think he's out of breath. And then you see, I think Suzanne or whoever, someone working with him, or is that Danny? It might be Danny, I think, to be fair, but then Six will say, "Who are you?" So I think that is Suzanne, who works with Lloyd, and she talks about how, what their jobs were and how they're working together, and sort of says that Lloyd is going to be, he can't be confessed much because he's dead, but she says something about how he could get done for crimes or whatever it is. I have no idea, right? I'm not sure what she was saying there, but that's quite important in the movie. But the way they talk, I couldn't understand them. They weren't quite clear with the voice. I know it's not me. I'm not sure a lot of your experiences. Maybe it's just my Netflix, but it just seems like the way they were talking, they weren't necessarily clear. I can't understand where Six gets shot or stabbed and he's out of breath. I get that. But it seems like they're talking, make it clear. I want to hear what's happening. Just about understood a lot of words in this movie, but it needs to be a bit more clear. And then another scene here which quite confused me is Claire. You think she's in like her place and she's protected. I think she gets kidnapped again because she asks this dude when am I going back home. So she gets kidnapped again. Was it Carmichael that organised it this time? I have no idea what's behind it. Maybe Suzanne. Must have been Suzanne Carmichael, whoever it is, right? Or Danny. I don't know. I think it's Danny that was with Six helping him out. I'm pretty sure. He said that he relieved of her duties. And yeah, this also that you see Six is shooting all the dudes and he sort of helps her out, like gets Claire out of there, and yeah, they just go off, like drive off really. So really confusing that bit. Why she got kidnapped again? Surely that was it, right? But then Carmichael managed to get away with it, which is interesting. So, and I think him and Danny in altercation somewhere towards the end there. I don't know. I only spoke about the important bits. I don't want to confuse a lot of you viewers here. But yeah, really surprised with Ryan Gosling. Like I said earlier in this video, if I haven't said it already, a lot of you females have about Ryan Gosling, and he is sensational in this movie. I didn't expect it. It's probably the most unexpected action movie to be good. I saw a snippet of it on TikTok. Not TikTok, on Netflix. And there was a scene where Avik was having a fight with Danny and Six. So yeah, usually I said TikTok again. Usually on Netflix shows scenes quite early. Some of these type of movies. So yeah, really quite surprising to be fair. I didn't expect. I thought it was gonna be a cringy character, something completely different. So yeah, well done for putting me wrong there. I will hashtag the writers and producers in here because they did a fantastic job with the movie. Choreography. I don't mention choreography. Oh my goodness, man! These type of movies. So I mentioned choreography is only doing dancing. It's a word something similar to that. I'm gonna say directing of this movie. That's another word I should have used. Directing of this movie, fantastic. The dialogue in these movies I don't care because dialogue is typical, right? You got the typical sort of dialogue between protagonist and antagonist. But the direction of this movie is fantastic. That tram scene, brilliant. More scenes of that, please. Loads of movies would be fantastic. So yeah, rating for this. I might give this. I was gonna give it a 9. I was thinking of giving it a 10, but a lot of me is telling me, like my heart, mind, and body is telling me give this a 9. The reason for that is I was gonna give it a 9 because the music choices in some scenes weren't that good, but that's a bit harsh. It's music that they put in. That's not even do with the movie. They just added something in. And someone's to give it a 9 now because the ending quite confused me. Because what was the setup? It said it's action mystery. There wasn't much of a mystery. You already knew what was going on, who was behind it. That's the only thing that I'm going to give this a 9. I would have given it a 10, just because it's just such a brilliant movie. But some of the storyline to it kind of confused me, and maybe people might understand it because people have seen it before. Some of you might have seen it before. You might have already understood it. I know there's a setup going on. I just didn't understand why Claire got kidnapped again. But were they using Six for something? I don't know. I'll give this a 9. It could deserve a 10. I would regret if I don't give it at least a 10. But a lot of me is telling me to give it a 9. So yeah, that's it for this video. 9 out of 10 is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So see you in my next video.